distinguished members of the press, our friends, smallholder rubber farmers, brokers, other actors under the sound of our voice, we say good morning. Not to waste time by the way of introduction, my far right there is Mr. James W. Seki, the National President of the National Rubber Brokers and Farmers Union of Liberia, NAFU. And right near me here is the National Board Chairman, Mr. Francis Sewonyon. And near me on my left is Mr. Clinton Nyankose, Head of Secretariat of NAFU. And speaking to you, I'm Stanley F.D. Sewolo, the National Vice President of NAFU Liberia. Thank you very much.
National Rubber Brokers and Farmers Union of Liberia, NAFU. AB Table Road, Weavers Avenue, Plainfield City, Massarato County, Republic of Liberia. Press statement. Representatives of consortiums of rubber sector actors of Liberia, COSA, here present, and in other parts of the country, members of the media here and far, fellows Liberians in radio land, honor our voices at this time, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The National Rubber Brokers and Farmers Union of Liberia, NAFU, a duly registered trade union under the law of the Republic of Liberia, comprising rubber farmers who have below 100 acres and rubber broker wishes to express its continuous gratitude to you, members of the food estates, and all progressive forces for your dedications and commitment to the struggle, a struggle to liberate the economically deprived masses of Liberians in general and the rubber sector actors in particular. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the food estate, today in the world of Dr. H. Boyman family, insofar that injustice, marginalization, deprivation of our people, and the destruction of poverty, distribution of poverty and diseases continue to recycle. We will continue to cycle to confront this transgression with our sweat and blood, with our teeth and blood. This may there have been and will always be men and women in history to confront tyrannic and economic exclusionism. Therefore, we are to execute obligations that history has bestowed on all, which we cannot betray. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the full estate, we have called you here today to inform the Liberian people that the Executive Order 151 to restrict the exportations of cotton, which were engineered by the Ministry of Agriculture, the sector is evil and is targeted to financially destroy Liberians who are gradually recovering from decades of Executive Order number 124 that were issued by the then President Joe Weah in November 2023. Moreover, the main public statement made by the Minister of Agriculture on Spoon TV, wherein he openly declared that the intention for the surcharge of $150 per ton is to discourage Liberian exporters into ceasing all rubber export, and all rubber should be reserved for the processing company that are all owned by foreigners. This statement is not only shameful, but also troubling, undermine economically and harmful to Liberians who are trying to compete in the economy of their own country. This was not the reason the Liberian people voted in the rain to cast their vote for the rescue team. We are not, such declaration show a gross disregard for the constitutionally protected right of Liberian citizens to engage in lawful enterprise, and reflect a clear policy that undermines national interests. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the full estate, it is worth informing the Liberian people that since 1934, rubber processing companies have been cutting fine rubber to increase their profit margin, with no impact on the Liberian market. We are then denied drying rubber to increase. We will use this opportunity to expose the decisions that ban restrictions on crop loan and on export loan. We benefit Liberian processing. Liberian processing is not value additions in its economic context. Manufacturing is value addition because it results into finished goods that are usable on the local market, which impact the local market where the production takes place. For your information, the technically specified rubber TSR has been produced by the few processors in Liberia, but no impact in the Liberian market. Just how the crop loan has no impact on the Liberian market also. The TSR that is produced in Liberia is a semi processed rubber produced that is intended for the manufacturing, which no companies is manufacturing tire or even rubber bands in Liberia. Rubber ditches, buckets, chairs, tables, etc. are not produced from the plant Heavius brasilensis. Natural rubber, they are produced of synthetic rubber, which is produced from the end of crude oil. So the information that the company want to produce this above mentioned product from natural rubber in Liberia is false and misleading, intended to deceive the unsuspected public. The government of Liberia has made no effort to collaborate with the Liberian rubber sector to provide a commercial processing plant where Liberian farmers will go to process their rubber and pay toll and sell their processed rubber for higher price in overseas market, just like this foreign processing company. But government is only interested in Liberian farmers and brokers to be perpetual raw material supplier to the foreign processing company. A broker in situation that has been existing for more than 7 decades, and our people remain poor in their own country, while the owners of the few foreign processing company live in a shadow's luxurious life. Additionally, that this generation of farmers and rubber brokers will resist with their sweat and blood to change the narrative for the better. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the full estate, we are pleased to inform you that rubber, unlike mineral or other state-held resources, is not a public asset. It is cultivated. It is a cultivated for privately owned, harvested and managed by individual farmers and entrepreneurs without assistance, subsidies, or infrastructural support from the government or their allies. Rubber processing companies owned by foreign companies. So, it's hard. The fundamentals, legal and economic question: why should the export of privately cultivated rubber be restricted when there exists so much executive orders regulating the export of gold, diamond, iron ore, laws, etc., all of which are state-held or naturally occurring resources? Only difference is these mentioned resources are predominantly exported by foreign capitalists to the government. Appreciate and support such venture, but sadly, the column is sold to the government. Predominantly exported by Liberians and creating an economic arsenal to enable Liberians fight for flexible economic space in their own country. Additionally, that the Ministry of Agriculture has vowed not to see Liberians in competition with government partners, the processing companies owned and managed for foreigners. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the full estate, recently we informed the government through Minister of Commerce, Agriculture, and the Liberia Revenues Authority that NAFU were putting in place structures and regulation to enhance revenue collection to the conduct of the cotton trade. The below measures are in place that everyone that is interested in participating in the rubber must meet the below minimum requirement. 1, must have current business registration certificate from the Liberia Business Registry, LBR. 2, must have a verifiable record of rubber purchase for tax and statistical purposes. might have a payment record of government 4% withholding, and small rubber farmer to resident. Much have evidence of rubber development fund, subscription fee payment might be a registered and licensed member of NAFO. 6, must have an electronic weighing skills certified by NAFO Inspectorate. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the full estate, the above mentioned structures and regulations are in fact working. Government is generating revenue. Again, the system will allow Liberians become middlemen, earning a situation that Minister of Agriculture does not see necessary. We made proposals to the government of Liberia since 2021. Export duties on other process and crop law have been waived for reason best known to the government. The government will export duty largely to benefit concessions company. Now, it is advisable that the government of Liberia reinstates the export duty on both processed and unprocessed rubber, in addition to those mentions above. And government will generate tons of money, as processed rubber and crop lunch will be generating revenues for the government. The government sadly ignored all these proposals and measures because the Ministry of Agriculture is only interested to ensure Liberians are not economically in power. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the full estate. Finally, we call on all progressive forces to engage with the executives to reconsider its decisions to allow trade to be conducted without the elements of Executive Order 151. Enough is enough. The Liberian rubber sectors have suffered for too long and still suffering from the negative impact of moratorium. Unfavorable buying conditions from the few processing companies in Liberia, depriving Liberians opportunity to sell on the basis of willing sellers and willing buyers. Let this be placed on the record that this generation of smallholder rubber farmers and brokers will not accept any condition that intend to deprive the Liberian people economically and deposit them into executing pain of poverty and financial defectiveness. Long live the Liberian smallholder sectors. Long live social justice and economic freedom. Done this 6th day of August 2025. Thanks.
Yeah, so my name is Emmanuel Davis, and I report for KMTV Liberia. I'm concerned about the recent letter to the president asking for the extensions of two different things. You talk about the money being placed on the shield of pounds, and then talking about small rubber being power. Do you see the executive order as a strong restrictions on small rubber farmers or brokers, or do you see it as a timely decision?
No, this decision is not timely. In that, in the first place, there was no consensus building from the part of the Ministry of Agriculture that is responsible for agricultural activities in this country. Secondly, the smallholder rubber farmers, who are the highest producers of rubber in this country, have been denied even on the board of the RDFR. So when most of these discussions are made, they are made in the action of the smallholder rubber farmers, who are the highest producer. So to me, this decision by the government is not timely. We work on value chain, but we work on additional value, because we are aware, we know about SEMA processing. SEMA processing is almost no different than the top level. Because SEMA processing, if you do SEMA processing and you export, you are exporting raw material. Unless it goes through the chain, through manufacturing and end up in a finished goods to get brand name, made in Liberia. Where are the made in Liberia that you are seeing here? No inner tubes, no tires, no hospital glove, no even condom or rubber band. So what is the reason for passing executive order only to empower few foreign companies at the detriment of the small farmers who own their property?
Yes. And to that,
Yeah.
Mr. President, you have done well in reflecting the issue of the smallholder farmer. Thank you so much. The long reading that you have done, members of the press, members of the four estates, members of NAFU official, farmers, you are listening to us. This is the last fight of this persisting, all of the time, executive order, Ministry of Agriculture making business at the detriment of the life of our farmers. Let me come into that. The reason why our people have not been talking about coming into additional value. Past government have not been educational trade center came to Liberia. They brought education. We are being sent up in the 60s, in the 70s to Malaysia. Today we know where, as you can read, we know where today. So the International Trade Center came and educated our government, all right? And even asked our government to put in some resources. They took that money and gave it to some of these same people that are causing noise. Few persons will sit down and then take money from Jetty, take money from Firestone, and tell them, look, we are e-government. We'll make sure that the president will speak on executive order, and then we can buy rubber $50 per ton and enrich ourselves. The additional issues that we're talking about, the agriculture minister is not informed. When RTC came, he was not in the ministry. I agree there are other technical groups who work under him, but he's so boastful that he's not listening to them. I don't know which discipline he got a PhD. But this is the man that will call on the platform that we debate the issue of the rubber culture so that he understands and gets some education to this issue. They did that the last time they mislead the former president of the Republic of Liberia, President George Weah. But to come to Boakai at this time, Dr. Christo had done that to Manasseh Leaf. Who tell you that president cannot be misled? Dr. Christo, they told Manasseh Leaf that they would have, coming up with finished products, slippers, tires, rubber chairs, and you name them. At the end, $21 million was swallowed at the detriment of the taxpayer. So if President Boakai, who was under Manasseh Leaf as vice president, and saw what a particular moratorium, If President Boakai is a president today, why will he allow the agriculture minister to have him wrong? This is totally wrong. It's very wrong. The farmers today, they are impatient. The same people that voted this government cannot be suggested to argue poverty. We are under pressure. If you see us calling you here, we are under pressure. The farmer want to come to town to besiege the agriculture ministry until the resignation of Nuta comes down. They are prepared to do it today, tomorrow.
What sort of impact does this have on the small rubber?
The impact it has is just negative death. You listen to me. Negative until the person dies. There are petrol evidence that we have that we're going to go to Spoon TV to display on international wire so that people know how farmers die, those that took money from the bank to process, to do their rubber, how the rubber got spoiled and they also died. They see the petrol evidence and just play everything to see how the government marginalizing its own people. It's bad. When you're making policy for people, you have them involved. If the smallholder farmer was involved, they would have advised the agriculture minister, advising the president that, Mr. President, when you want to come with this issue, you have to set the pace. How do he set the pace? You come on and tell farmer, these people who are being here since 1934, not doing anything, carrying the same cotton out, and fooling government that they have a manufacturing factory here. You are young people. Do you have it? No. We don't have a manufacturing factory. These people still selling cotton. Getty came up with the politics and saying, first one I done nothing. I'm going to do the right thing. If we put you on our car this morning to go to Jetty area where he does his business, go see your Liberians. Go see your brothers. Go see how they are being slaves. Is that the government that we want in Liberia? We will not allow such things to happen.
So people when police come in, I'm concerned. Have you been able to meet the agriculture minister, because you keep talking about you people were not involved in the process since the executive order said to him to discuss some of these issues?
Yes.
What happened is response.
No, what happened if somebody is going after riches and leaving the public concern? They are adamant to who advises. There's something set up at the Ministry of Agriculture they call sectoral meeting. You understand? In that sectoral meeting, they are briefing that come from different sectors that will inform the minister in making report to the president. As we speak today, I challenge the minister to know how many farmers in the rubber sector, to even know the brokers. He doesn't have the statistics. We do. So we know the number of human beings that you are killing by doing this thing that you are doing. It's just because Jesse gave me $50 or for soon gave you $75 to kill Liberians who voted yesterday before Boakai can appoint you. If the president, the digital part, let me just tell you something. If the president doesn't listen to what we are saying here right now, he will be taking a risk. You know what? If you're a president, Boakai going for one thing, to say, see, I'm going for one thing, I can marginalize whoever I want to marginalize. I will take the advice of the agriculture minister. Beautiful, we can clap for you. We can do all the demonstrations. You don't listen, right? You would like to be protected. No president want to leave that presidency and don't have a friend that will stay in the presidency. Tomorrow, you put anybody in, we know the person is pro-Boakai that damage our economy. That person can never succeed in any case.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, my name is Taz Kim. I write for the Liberian Post and also related online TV. Earlier on, after the issuance of the executive order by the president, your organization wrote an open letter to the president. From that time, from the day up to now, there have been no redress. Now you are calling a press conference. If the president don't listen to your plan, what will be your next goal action in the next 24 or 72 hours?
But if you go constitutionally, our organic law, the president himself should know better that the last thing a citizen will always do is to tell the world. You know that government going out begging for money, for whom they are begging for money? Is it not the citizen? Fine. So Article 1 of our Constitution, if the power has been inherited in the citizen to bring government to power, and you use it, all right, to get money from out there, When you get the money they put, they are watching you to see whether the citizens are in peace. So the citizen for whom you went out to get millions of dollars today, when they are crying under the rain, you will be somebody that will never be trusted internationally. This is the fight of the citizen. So whatever comes from behind no processing, no or manufacturing factory in Liberia as we speak, since rubber came into being. And let me tell you, Firestone have not created any nursery to give the indigenous, the farmer, the smallholder farmer, to get a piece of stone. The rubber that they're arguing on here today, they were not the one. The people playing there sitting. The synthetic rubber that will make you rich was not planted by our people because they've been marginalized. So the small one they planted by themselves, is that what you want to have control over? What is the mechanism? What is the agenda of this government for the rubber sector? Let them bring it out, Larry. They said they created 5 rubber region, 5 or agricultural region to help our people. The 5 region that you have created, do you have the statistic of those that you are going to contend with? Do you know them? Investors today, they are investors that we talk to, that came to Liberia as we speak. They are here. They want to pack their things to leave. They are bigger 20 times than Firestone. They are at the verge of paying their factory. We talk now to the Ministry of Agriculture. Why must they be so stubborn? And in knowing all of these processes, is it a deal between he and the president? If the president does not take action to bring Luther down, he will meet a lot of bitterness with all of his leadership, because the smallholder farmer, this is a lab area, just give ammunition and whatever you get for your police and whoever to kill everybody.
Are you saying there will be a protest?
It's serious, massive one.
So
massive one. We are stopping it. We are stopping it. We went to the ministry. We told directors. We told deputy ministers who are well informed about the sector. But this man is so pompous. He's not listening to them because he feels he had a close proximity with the president.
So, from my angle, I'm Simeon Smith, Chogonjet, I report for the Liberian TV network and the Smith Online Television. Somebody want to know how many days ultimatum people have given the government of Liberia as people will continue to advocate for the local farmers.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Tomorrow, we are not, the ultimatum we're giving out. Tomorrow, we are on OKFM. Tonight, we'll be on Spoon. And when we are done with the information, because you need to provide the education.
Okay.
This is the education we are providing.
Okay.
There's a cartel to use our people into slavery, but pretending as you are the Jesus Christ who coming to deliver them. So we're going to turn it different to tell our people, look, the young people who didn't know and not reading.
Can you describe how that cartel works?
The cartel is about using the rubber sector to have the agricultural minister rich, whatever he shared with Jetty and his follower, whatever they gave to President Boakai for which he's doing that, we don't know. But we know President Boakai is here and he should be fully knowledgeable about the economy of our country. And by doing that, we got the means, the sector, it has the means to pay any civil servant in the country. The reason why that has not been happening, this is the reason that we are exposing today. There are people who collecting the money and eating the money. If you come to 4%, the smallholder farmer are paying taxes more than even any company in this country. Firestone pay 2% quarterly. The farmers we're talking about today pay 4% per delivery. Do you know what they call delivery? No, sir. It means when the car comes on the way bill, on the weighing bridge, when the car just go off the weighing bridge, and you having to bring 10 tons as a just local farmer who cannot even read and write, who government supposed to help, who government supposed to provide services for, but then you struggle on your own, you brought 10 tons, right? From farm A. Then when it comes from there, they apply 4% on that very day. On each ton. On each ton. Yes. So after that application, you go to farm B. Like you the same tool bringing that rubber. You go to farm B and say, Chief, I get another rubber coming from the end. When it comes, they will not consider you that farm A brought 10 tons and then they took 4% per ton. And then you come with 5 tons from farm B. They apply it. That are same day. Who pays money? In return, economically, in return, Is there anything that government is supposed to find to give to the smallholder farmer?
Where does that? What does all these money go?
It go to people who got a cartel that I told you about.
Okay.
So meaning that agriculture
Who are you
minister.
selling to? Who are you the smallholders? Who are you selling to?
This is a process. This is the chain that RTC came in. Okay. All right. So let me show you the chain.
Okay.
The smallholder farmers, when they get the rubber from their farm gate, you know, when you put the rubber together.
Yeah.
People who don't understand, they say, but this man always he got 2 beds. And John, well, they are more. So when the people did a survey, the total natural rubber that live in our country, smallholder farmers are contributing 65%. Wow, huge. And they verify also that taking that even stealing money and from our farmers and having cohort with government all of the time to perpetually posting moratorium so as to suggest the people who own property to nothing, that some of them will cut down the trees, not doing anything. So the one who producing higher now, what they did cleverly is to be eating the 4%. In fact, government, know the taxes of smallholder farmers. What do I mean? They told for us who are obligated to paying taxes in our country. Then we say for us who paying taxes. Do you know the source of it from? The man who's supposed to pay money to government, you gave him power again to do withholding. All the money we're talking about here, they're not Liberian men collecting it anyway.
Who collected them?
Firezone. And so Firezone collect that and call other major people that sets out the president and say, look, we just generated 5 million.
So how long had that been happening?
It has been happening since you were not born.
Since 1934.
Since you were not born, since they started operation in Liberia. So now, if you see what has happened in South Africa, what is happening in Africa today, there should be a radical change. Yesterday they fought for freedom, right? And we're talking about rescue. All right? Right here, Africa, they always, cry to come for real rubber in Liberia, but go see their system because they gave loan to farmers. What is our government doing? We need to bring moratorium and kill the farmers.
Have you government receiving loans?
Who? Where?
Smallholder.
Nothing.
So before you come in, Mr. President, I'm a little bit concerned since the executive order, there have been a lot of people, praising the government, saying it is time, and I listened to Patel who said this executive order is not meant to enrich jetty and firestone, neither lack. But it's meant for the farmers. When we talk about the local farmer, we are talking about the smallholder, and talking about your organization.
Yeah.
So, do you see that as a serious contradiction?
They need education on that.
So I think the president.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Mr. President.
Very much. Okay, you talk about Patel. Patel and I, we are all members of the Liberia Business Association. I know him personally, and I know why he did it. He's a dealer of used car. He doesn't know about the rubber sector. So there is a reason why we are coming out now to provide education to the public. I have also listened to some young guys who are so happy, this measure is good, they will create jobs. But I think they should be crying now instead of rejoicing.
Why?
Because it's a scam. It's not going to happen. And look, let me tell you.
Job creation, is that what you mean?
It's a scam.
TSRO production started in 1934, you just listen to it. And TSRO, which is technically specified rubber, is a raw material. When in process, it's still in process. Firestone produce TSRO and take it to South Africa, Johannesburg, take it to Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, they have manufacturing plant there. They take it and manufacture it into finished goods and create more jobs for those countries and increase their government revenue generating capacity. Why are you benefiting? Your big way here are taking jobs. How many employees will they absorb to their SEMA processing plant? So, for somebody to say that the executive order 151 to stop unprocessed rubber from leaving Liberia and we're going to give you a job, I mean, you are just daydreaming. The only thing, for me, I'm not totally convinced that President Boakai is actually aware of what is happening. And that's the reason why I told my people, I said, look, even though he's a leader, we can blame him. But we need to provide the factual information to the public. That President Boakai himself will get to understand that he been misled. There is no way, that you can produce TSR to create jobs that you're talking about. If there were a way to do it, then by this time all Liberians working because they started AFC. So for me, the best thing our government can do, if we really want to industrialize this nation, we must transition from the TSR production and get into manufacturing, where we can come out with brand made in Liberia. Anything short of that, we will not accept it. And let me tell you, we make more money on the sale of our unprocessed rubber as compared to that of the TSR they're talking about. The TSR only benefit the processing company, the foreign processing company. Even the government side does not really benefit because they don't know about the sector that what they feel that they're making money. For instance, 2 continuous of the unprocessed rubber, one process to semi-processed rubber is equivalent to 1 continuous. And at the APN terminal, $250 is paid per container of semi-processed rubber. That twice of that $250 will be paid per unprocessed rubber. Because 2 continuum of the unprocessed rubber are $500. And 2 of it being processed into semi-processing, $250. Then where is the money that you're generating, you're posting up? Besides that one, it comes to payment. Currently, when President Boakai relaxed the Executive Order 124, just within less than 1.5 year period, see the kind of improvement in the rubber sector right now. I mean, it is so disappointing that the agriculture minister will mislead the president. He has done well, he's doing well. So he needs to check back because the kind of pressures that he has taken in the rubber sector, the level of development are going on in the rubber sector, and that they're trying to quit it again. It's disturbing.
So, lastly, Mr. President, what would be your message to the government of Liberia and to the small farmers?
Well, for the small farmer, we continue to talk to them to exercise restraint because there's a tension. I'm not telling you, Joe, real tension is building. But, you know, as a leader, we have to exercise restraint and talk. And I'm sure from those education that we are providing, the president will see reason to reconsider that decision.
Thank you, sir.
All people around him, those stakeholders will see reason to tell the president that this decision is not terminated. It had no benefit. Because the guys that are fighting, those that are exporting the unprocessed rubber, they pay a good price as compared to that of the processing company.
Thank you, sir. So,
let's take your part in comment.
Let's take your part in comment, sir.
Well, let me say thank you once more to our farmers. You told us that you want to beseech the agriculture ministry until the minister resigns. That plan, we will not ask you to quit that plan. It should remain on course. While we are engaging right now so that President Boakai know that he was misinformed. Yesterday, he was misinformed when he was vice president by Christo. So today, when he's president proper, because we always say vice president position is nominal. You always, you don't have power over it. Today, Mr. President, you are there. If you allow this thing to go to the end of this month, your government will go unpopular. And we don't want it in that minor.
Thank you, sir. So, can you take your part?
Okay, thank you very much. Once again, I'm Stanley F.J. Siwolo, the Vice President of NAFO. Thank you very much for coming. I think the National President and the National Board Chair, they have spoken lengthily. We are just coming to portray their effort. It's to really tell you, fellow citizens and young leaders, prospective leaders of this country, we are just in the vanguard to provide you the information, the direct information, how the rubber sector operates, how it gives immense contribution to the national economy and the GDP. But the lead actors in the rubber sector have not been having the opportunity to act in their capacity to work with government to make sure that this economy graduate from the fragile stage to the stage of sustainability. And worst of it all is the continual executive order upon executive order on the rubber sector without justifiable reason. And we as smallholder farmers are saying no. This is not the best way possible. The executive order is just one critical problem of the sector to make the rubber sector, the problem emanating from the rubber sector to go from worse to ridiculous. I think the best thing, not to just waste of time, that the government should be thinking about, to put a mechanism, framework, and regulation in place where there will be inclusion of the smallholder rubber farmers represented by their institution, NAFO, to be in all discussions to come out with amicable solution, a lasting solution for the problem emanating from the rubber sector.
Thank you, thank you.
And we will also say lastly to our rubber farmer, our smallholder rubber farmer, we know they are downhearted and they are weak, but we are telling them to exercise restraint as we are engaging government expeditiously, the Ministry of Agriculture, to see reason to advise the President to reconsider the decision of Executive Order number 151, so that our smallholder rubber farmers and other rubber sector items will contribute to the national economy and the GDP of the country and the development of our country. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
So,
you.
folks, that was the voice of the
NAFO, the speaking space.
NAFO speaking to the press. Thank you very much.